You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Podcast Network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com. You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Rick, come on. All right. Welcome to episode number...
Not live yet.
Whoa.
I said going live. Now we're live. See, this is why we need the sign.
We need that sign.
Boom, right there. Click.
Welcome to the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. This is episode number 102 of East Central Indiana's favorite podcast. I'm Jeremiah Morrell. Today I'm joined by co-host Mr. Dakota Davis, another co-host named Chase Peyton.
What's up, Jer?
Who's got cookies in his mouth. Producer
Crackers.
Chris Guffey.
Hello.
Today's episode is featuring Mr. Landon Dean, who's a man of many hats, vice president of the Knightstown Town Council, president of the Memorial Park Board, sergeant of the Henry County Sheriff's Department. So you just do everything. We're going to be talking to Landon about the Knightstown Town Council, some of the stuff they have going on there, how in the world he won as an independent. We're going to find that out. We're going to talk about the future of Memorial Park and talk a little bit about law enforcement and maybe get some opinion on the jail. So make sure you stick around to the very end to hear some of that.
This show is about our lives in rural Indiana. As always, we promise our episodes are going to be a fun and an easy listen. We're not officially sponsored by anybody, but I will say our friends at Montgomery Steakhouse, I stopped in with them last night. They have 3 Floyds on tap right now.
They do.
The
Laser Snake.
No.
It's not. Oh,
No, it's
zombie
not.
dust. Zombie
It's
dust.
zombie dust.
Well, Laser Snake's another good 3 Floyds beer.
Zombie dust, people used to drive from like 200 miles around to go get zombie dust, and they have it in Spiceland.
It's
so
a good beer.
I feel like we have to mention that.
So Zombie Dust was one of the first hazies. It was one of the first beers that was brewed unfiltered with hops, so they didn't filter out the beer after they brewed it, and it gives it kind of that hazy, fruity, citrusy taste. And Zombie Dust was one of the first ones to do that, and that's why people fell in love with it.
So this has been a fun week. We're still celebrating having reached that 100th episode milestone. That was 2 weeks ago today. It was episode 100, Valentine's Day. We had Patreon people come by, dropped off all kinds of cool things. We got a gift in the mail today from our guests last week, Jolie Molinaro and Riley, the future Molinaro, mailed us an amazing gift. We got that. And then just before we went on the air, what happened, Dakota?
Well, Mr. Thalls came in, not the county councilman, his son, and said, love what you guys do. You guys are great. It's a family tradition for a big celebratory event to drink Miller High Life, which is the champagne of beers.
The champagne of beers. I remember Bobby Allison driving the number 22 Miller High Life Buick back in the day.
It's a Buick. It's probably a good car.
It was. Yeah, I know. That's why I thought you'd care.
Yeah, I do.
As a Buick owner, as a Buick man.
So my dad's going to be proud because this is my dad's beer. He likes Miller High Life a lot, and he always brags about how his favorite beer is the champagne of beers.
I don't know if this is going to upset Chase over there. You're a Budweiser man.
I gave my beer to young Chris over there.
This is it's only one beer, Landon, but this
I don't drink anything that's not powered by wind energy.
This is a hell of a beer.
The beer itself is powered by wind energy?
Yes. I feel like I can run faster after I drink it.
What about solar, man? You know all about solar after last week's show, right?
If a car
No
key,
one cares about solar energy.
If you got a car key, we can shotgun this. A 32.
Oh.
No, we are not. We are not doing that.
Oh.
What
Producer Chris, right here. Got one.
No, we're not doing that.
You ready?
Now, what are you drinking?
Hold on.
What are you drinking, Chase?
I've got some milk over here, Jeremiah.
Why? Why do you have milk?
Some bitches challenge.
So the way this started this morning. My wife's been out of town. The lovely Sarah Morrell's been out of town. She's been out of town for work since Monday morning, and I was left eating leftovers and living the bachelor life. I'm not used to this. It's been like 8 months since I've had to be on my own, trusted to run the house. And I discovered I discovered that I had an entire gallon of milk that said it was going to expire on February 28th this morning. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. So I posted it on the internet, and a lot of people had ideas. Mike Broyles said, Chase, you can drink it all tonight on the show. But it was 1% milk. And there were people that were complaining about the origin of it, that it was from Walmart.
And also that it didn't have enough fat.
Walmart milk is bad, and it's not fatty enough for you. So you have... Was that full when you started? We've been on the air for 3 minutes.
This is my third glass. And let me tell you, I'm starting to fill it. I prepared for this, and I didn't eat anything all day.
I was going to say, as long as if you didn't eat anything, because 1 gallon of this whole milk, by the way, which is absolutely disgusting, is
delicious.
Dakota only drinks almond milk.
I also like walnut milk, and I don't like cashew milk. It's the one nut milk I won't drink.
So hold on, wait.
Just that one. Any other nut milk.
Any other
totally
nut
fine.
milk you're drinking, huh?
You got walnut, pistachio, almond, acorn.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Chris.
That is a huge...
If you see me waving towards you, get the trash can because I'm about to puke.
But
Get in the trash can.
This gallon is 2,400 calories. You watching people play PUBG?
I think that was the last video, and then it just rolled into this one. Apparently,
you
Facebook
better
thinks-
watch out for Momo.
I don't know what Momo is. Momo is a wheel. It's a racing wheel. That's what I know.
Okay, so anyway, we have the champagne of beers here, and this is our celebratory. This is episode 102, but it's still celebrating episode 100. Jeremiah, dink it and sink it with me. Dink it,
Dink
Drink the whole thing?
dink it, and sink it.
It's a nice reference, Dakota.
You're
Thank you.
Chase. You're supposed to carry
Someone
the
said
show
I
as
get
the
it.
broadcasting professional. When we're drinking, you have to be talking.
I said that's a nice reference, Dakota.
That's it.
Do you know what reference
No, I have no idea.
you just made?
No.
Nerd.
I'm the one that's lost. So you're working on Oreos, chicken and biscuit crackers, and an entire gallon of whole milk.
Yes.
I brought the 1% milk. So when you finish that, if you can help me out with that 1%, I brought it.
I'm going to go for round 2.
And I brought you some Kahlua and vodka to mix things up.
Okay.
Then you said you would only drink it out of the fanciest wine glasses I had. So I brought 4 wine glasses. All right.
128 grams of fat in that gallon of milk.
Well, I didn't eat lunch.
In other Chase Peyton news, one of your coworkers, Kirk Davis, who works here in Newcastle or lives here in Newcastle, he appears to be having the work vacation of your lifetime.
I was so jealous when I saw the pictures.
He's in New Jersey. My wife's also in New Jersey. They both flew there at the same time.
When he took the picture of just the house, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But when I saw the pictures of inside the house, I was so jealous.
What house are we talking about?
The Jersey Shore house.
I told Sarah, I said, you're going to Newark. I said, you can go to Jersey Shore, you can go to New York City, you can do any of this stuff. And every day, Kirk has been like at a hockey game, a basketball game. He went to Jersey Shore. He did his normal day job, too. Sarah's not gone anywhere. I don't know. I saw that, and I'm like, oh, man, you are going to have tangible jealousy.
I am. I do some crazy things in that house.
So before we get any further, we have some people that we want to thank for helping us make it this far, for getting us into the studio. Thank you to our Patreon members who are $50 and up. Christopher Bilbrey, who is going to be on the show as a guest on March 14th. Brantley Spicer, Christy Avery, Jonathan Phillips, and, of course, Craig DaCosta. Also, Jeremiah mentioned that Riley and Joey sent us a awesome gift from the Amazon wish list. If you would also like to contribute to the show by offering us some equipment, then you can go to Amazon.com, search Boss Hog of Liberty, and find our wish list there. We have all kinds of goodies on there. There's a live and on the air neon sign that's on the Amazon wish list.
That would help.
Shielded mic cables.
That would help us with the Guffey handoff at the beginning of the show. Ever since we got a producer, it's been a little clunky here on the front end.
You know, and
I blame America.
just to be funny, I added some microphones on there. The Joe Rogan Shure SMCBs, I think they're called. This is going to be hilarious. They're $400 a microphone.
Hold on. Question.
There are podcasters out there using $400 microphones.
Can we rock, paper, scissors? If anybody buys can we rock, paper, scissors for that? Yeah.
It's not going to be the producer, I can tell you that.
Did you guys, did you listen to the Alex Jones episode?
No, I just finished Dr. Phil.
So I don't know much about Alex Jones because I don't keep up with the news at all. He's a weirdo.
You know who Alex Jones is, Landon?
I do not.
Do you listen to any podcasts in the car in the day job?
No.
Or are you just working?
I work at the hospital during the day. So.
The correct answer, Landon, is yes. I listen to Boss Hog of Liberty every Thursday
I do
and
listen
Friday.
to that, yes.
No, so Alex Jones is
He is the host of InfoWars, huge conspiracy podcast and all around internet show because he's got a really professional setup and he's made millions off of his show.
selling
he also
vitamins
is
and crazy talk.
Yes, he sells like super male vitality supplements and things.
What channel was that?
He is the guy that got banned from all the social media platforms because of his conspiracies. His main one that gets him in trouble is saying that the Sandy Hook school shooting was a false flag event. And, yeah,
So he's
really not a good person.
No, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and Joe Rogan was famous for
News radio.
for being on news radio and for Fear Factor and then some work with the MMA.
Yes.
Announcing that, and then his podcast is
Fear Factor.
It's listened to by millions. Do you remember Fear Factor?
Oh yeah, we used to watch
I
that show
love
growing
that
up
show.
every week.
So check that one out. So we are joined tonight by Landon, and if you guys want a little bit of Landon's introduction, we talked in the the chat is very lively tonight. In the Patreon group, if you join there, you'll catch the first 10 or 15 minutes. We were supposed to talk about a dentistry story out of Florida that I thought was fascinating, but it turned into mostly
Please
complaining
stop.
about getting pulled over, not by Landon, but by other people, by Chris and Dakota. So check that out.
Listen, man, I had a taser pulled on me. I can complain about that. All right,
I passed a state cop twice.
Well, now you gave it away. Now they don't have to buy the cow. You gave them the milk for free.
No, you have to listen how it happened.
Mike Broyles is in the chat making fun of Chase for calling somebody else a weirdo. And Jonathan of Juice in the Morning says milk was a bad choice. Ron Burgundy.
That's a good gif.
So, Landon, as we introduced him before, you won a race for the Knightstown Town Council seat. You are now the vice president of the Knightstown Town Council, but you won as an independent. You ran as a Democrat in the past, and I think that most people around the county who are involved in politics remember your slogan of "Split the Ticket," which is a brilliant slogan, by the way, because straight ticket voting is such a horrible issue here.
It is.
Tell us a little bit about any challenges that you faced on the campaign trail as an independent, or people questioning you.
Well, to answer the first question as to why I won, nobody ran against me. So,
You didn't have to give that away.
but I've been a Democrat forever, and there was talk that somebody was going to run on the Republican ticket, and Knightstown is, I'm sure the majority is Republican voters, and we decided that for the Knightstown election that maybe I should file as an independent. So that's what we did, and it worked out. The person didn't end up running against me. I would have won the other way too, but it was a political move, I guess. And just to be honest, I've lost a few elections. I've ran for several things.
Some of us are in that club with you.
Yes, and I've almost won, but almost winning is still a loss. So you still feel good if you almost win, I guess. And I got appointed. I felt lucky. I got appointed to a Republican seat.
In the Knightstown town board seat you're in was somebody moved away, right?
Yes.
And so you got appointed, and then this is your first term as an elected official.
Yes. So I was nervous, and I just didn't want to lose. I've lost so many, and I know that when you run as an independent, you don't exactly give up your party status because it really is based on how you voted in the last primary. So.
Right.
We learned that in the last cycle because a candidate had run as an independent. Susan Hoon did, She ran as an independent for commissioner, and then she was able to run as a Republican for the county council seat and won that this last year. Chase, how's milk drinking going, buddy?
It's coming along.
You are going to be through that gallon in no time.
Well, the real question is
I'm really hitting that wall.
is he going to be able to hold it all down? That's the real question.
I don't even want to think about it.
Is there?
I've tried it.
Is there some sort of a breathalyzer for lactose?
No, but I promise you, if he throws up, so will I. So.
And so will Dakota.
I'll try to make it to the restroom.
And we
Do
will
anything for the content, baby.
We will have ratings for days. We're also going to have to mop, which won't be good.
So, I guess tell me a little bit about what your goals are for Knightstown in this first term. What lies ahead for you guys over there?
Well, when I started in the other term, I had a year left of the term of the person I filled in, and they have a really good town board down there right now, and that has not always been the case. And I don't want to be detrimental, but they did some silly things for several years. And
Sarah Ward was very impressive when she was running. I remember it was probably 4 years ago or 2 years ago, one of those cycles.
This was her second term. So.
Yeah, 4 years ago, she was very impressive in her I guess her first run.
And she is such a great leader. She's so honest, and her sense of humor. Some people don't understand, but I love it. I spend half my time up there laughing at what she says. We found out we were a pretty good team. We were moving forward. We changed things that people didn't think we should change, and we changed things to make them better. And I've always been the kind of guy that says, "Why do we do this?" At my work, my bosses will tell you that they don't like that. But I got on that town council, and I'm like, "Why are we doing this?" And I grew up in Knightstown, and I thought, we're just doing things the way we've done them for 50 years for no reason, and it's not productive. It's not what we need to do, and the town's shrinking. It's been getting smaller since I can remember, and it's no wonder because there wasn't anything exciting going on there. So you guys have made I'm going to slide your microphone just a touch over so it helps pick you up a little better. Okay. You guys have made a move with where the town government actually is located. Yeah. Can you tell us about that? Because that was in the news this week. Yeah, the town hall and the police department has been in the same place since I'm sure the 50s. And it was a little building that was probably nice when it was built, but they were overcrowded. All the paperwork and the storage, and it wasn't the best building in the world for what we used it for. And we had the opportunity to go to the old Main Source building, which was, when I was a kid, the First National Bank building right on Main Street. We're really trying to promote Main Street and the old buildings and the area, and we thought it would be a good move if we could somehow, it was just a dream at first, to get that building because it was empty and it didn't look like any other bank was going to come in town. So
now, why couldn't Knightstown negotiate as well as Newcastle? Because Newcastle got a bank to give them a building, and you all had to pay $100,000.
That would be nice. Yes. Yes, this building's a lot nicer. Well, I won't say that. That's negative, but I think it's a little nicer than the one that got given. And it was a different circumstance, too. They left the town completely, and it would have been nice to get it for free, but that didn't happen. So
and then the old town building is going to become the township building for Wayne Township. Is that right?
Yeah, the Knightstown Fire Department is the Knightstown Wayne Township Fire Department, and they actually rented the fire station, which is attached to this building that we're moving out of, and so they paid rent for that building every year, and they're excited. They're going to take over the whole building, and the township trustee is working with them to make that happen. So they get more room, and we get more room, and worked out to be a good thing.
So our show, we obviously we're based in Henry County, Indiana, and we're locally focused, but we also have listeners all over the state and some across the country, and even a little bit international. Tell the people about Knightstown. What do you have one crown jewel that people have seen from all over the world, but other neat things about Knightstown. What you've got?
Well, the big thing you're talking about is the Hoosier Gym. The movie was filmed there, and I was a teenager when that was filmed. So people come to see the Hoosier Gym, and there's a nonprofit group that runs that, and they've done a really good job of maintaining it and advertising it. So we have all those visitors. And Knightstown, I just said that one of the bad things is it never changed, but that's also one of the good things. We still have old buildings downtown. It's beautiful, actually. And there's also another building next to the Hoosier Gym. It's the the Academy place, which was the old high school and grade school. I actually went to grade school there.
It's residences now,
Yeah,
correct?
it was converted into residence and for the elderly, and worked out really well. But are you okay?
There's something squeaking over here.
I heard something.
Those are my new shoes.
But that building was recently purchased too, and is getting renovated. So, with this new town council, you probably heard of Roger Hammer. He's on the town council, and he's really knowledgeable about the economic development stuff, and he's led the way to develop our own economic development. We've had a study done to tell us what we needed to do in Knightstown, and it's nice to see it in paper because we all assumed that things needed to be done. And the big thing is the residency. You know, we have a lot of rentals and a lot of empty places and a lot of empty lots. So we decided to move forward trying to figure out how to fill those empty lots. And when people wanted to build a house, we want it to we want them to want to build there. You know, so the school system.
You got a brand new high school, 15 years old, 10 years old.
It's really nice. The school system is ran well, and they have a really cool superintendent right now. I've seen him more than any superintendent I ever remember, and he gets involved in the community. He's involved in the economic development stuff, and he helps out a lot. So and then you've had some infrastructure investments as well in the town. Your water treatment plant, you've been working on improvements over there. We have, and we did something that I think the others may have been afraid to do. Was we signed a 10-year contract, a maintenance contract, and we pay a certain amount every year, and everything that goes wrong with that, any maintenance that needs done, it's covered. Before, what we've done is we've thrown the least amount of money at it to fix it in the least way. For years, if there was a patch needed to be done, they would find the cheapest way to do it, even though they knew it wouldn't last long, and we were always doing things over. So I think the company's name Leary or something Leary or Wary something. They've contracted with us, so we don't have to worry about that for 10 years, and we've got it in the budget, and we can afford it. And in the long run, I think we're going to save a lot of money because
little preventive maintenance goes a long way, doesn't it, Dakota?
It does. Yes, maintenance is important. I am a maintenance man.
Well, I think one of the leaks they've thrown like $50,000 at twice. I'm guessing on that amount, and then it leaks again in a few years. So this spring they're going to start working and get it fixed up the way it should be. We had a water filter system that you might have heard on the news. People were complaining about the orange water, and it was terrible. And we found out that it was because there's 3 huge filters under the ground that all the water goes through. That's supposed to be maintained every so many years, and they'd never been maintained. They'd never been cleaned, so they failed, and that cost a lot of money to fix them. But now those are fixed, and there's a maintenance program set up for that, so we don't have to worry about that again.
Okay.
So you've got running Knightstown has what, 2,000 people, 1,500 people? What's the
I think 2,200 is the last.
So you have different struggles than Newcastle does, but you still have water, sewer. You don't have an electric company. You don't have.
They've always had an electric company until this year.
Okay,
and they had the water system, and the water department was always running in the hole, and they rearranged how they charge and they collect the bills and what they spend the money for. We have an amazing town clerk. Her name's Beth Huffman, and she's a CPA, I believe, and owns a business doing that. And she's guided us the right direction on the money. And so we got the water problem fixed, and the water company or the water division, whatever you want to call it, they actually have money now. They're operating within their means. So. And
how does trash get picked up in your community?
That's something that we probably should look at someday. We're not involved in that at all. So our roads are in bad shape, and part of that might be because there's 4 or 5 different trash companies that come and pick up for different people. So every day or during the week, we have 5 different companies coming in the big trucks picking up neighbors and passing a house and going to another neighbor. And it causes for a lot of traffic, but it's just whoever somebody hires is who comes.
Just as long as you guys can stay up with the toters, unlike Newcastle has.
So
we just blame that on Aaron Dicken, though.
The discussion I've had is, I live in White Estates, so I'm just outside of city limits. So I have my own trash service. I hire Big B, and there's 2 or 3 other companies that service our area. But when I have a problem with my trash toter, I call them and, hey, it's fixed the next day. Where in Newcastle, they've had problems where they can't get their toters replaced for a year or 2, or you have a broken lid.
4 years.
You can't do anything.
I can guarantee you we'll never go into the trash business and collecting money for them, but I don't think it would hurt to take a look at maybe contracting with one and getting a better price for everybody and doing it that way. But that's not even on the table right now. But I look at that in the future, and I think when you see all these trucks going down the road every day, it has to be hard on the roads.
Do you do you have a road program that you have to maintain as well? So you apply for federal funds or your county or state funds to maintain your asphalt?
Yes, and one of the things that our clerk did, and I don't know the proper name for it, but there was an advantage or an opportunity through the state for matching funds if
community crossings maybe or something.
Yes,
like that.
if we it was a 25-75, and if we went over a certain amount, they would even do more. So we saved some money from last year and moved it over, so our match could be higher this year, and we're probably going to get the more money for roads than we ever have. And we did pretty well last year, and we're catching up some things that needed to be done. So.
And then do you have just local contractors do the work, or do you have your own town crews? How do you do that?
When it comes to the paving, we take bids or quotes, whatever the proper word is, and see who can do the work the cheapest and who has the best reputation. We fix places, but we don't pave.
You're not in the road construction business.
Yes, no.
Is anyone else getting the chills? Or is it just me?
Where are we at? I can't quite see the gallon.
That's the same glasses when you asked him before.
So
yeah.
It looks
He's slowing down.
It looks pretty low though.
I'm starting to struggle, man.
You've got a little milk mustache there, buddy.
Do I? I'm just gonna leave it. I'll probably have a puke mustache here in a second.
As long as it's not projectile, we'll be fine.
Landon is very nervous. He is very nervous.
So, Landon, let's talk a little bit about your role at Memorial Park.
In the time that we've been trying to arrange for Landon to be on the show, he's been the president of the Memorial Park Board. He's been off the Memorial Park Board, and now I assume have you been re-sworn in as president, or
I have.
You reorganized and you're president again?
Yeah, the board elected me president again on the first night back. So yeah, politics I've learned. I've always worked in government, but as a worker bee, and in the last couple of years, I've been involved with a couple different councils and stuff, and I never realized how vicious and some of the consequences that can happen.
You can get fired and rehired from a volunteer job on a whim, man.
I know. I said earlier before that I've never worked so hard for free in my life, except for myself, when I'm doing something. But it's been a rough time since I've been on the board, but it's been rewarding, and I was quite shocked when I got taken off at the end of the year, but everything happens for a reason, I guess.
So, tell us about your experience on the Memorial Park Board. You wound up being the person that was appointed to replace me when I went off the board. You filled out the remainder of my term, so I had a 4-year term. You served about a year, and then you were just reappointed. In that time, you've had some improvements or some changes have come in the park.
Well, I can't believe, and again, I didn't have a real good perspective when I first started because I didn't know where everybody had been. But when you look back what the park was and what they've done in the last 2 years, I cannot believe the enhancements and the people that are getting involved, and we owe it all to the volunteer groups and the nonprofit groups that got involved and raised money and motivated people to do things. And some of the things weren't so popular, but they've definitely moved forward, and the park is in the center of everybody's eyes.
That big duck hunt you had, nobody liked it at all. It was just a bloodbath, man. I don't know.
I don't remember that. I know nothing about that.
Seems like nobody aimed for the ducks. It was just the geese. Those poor geese.
But I was really scared because I got put on to replace you, and then at the first of the last year, they made me president when Chad left. And my first meeting as president, you guys were here with the cameras. There. Channel 59, Channel 13 was all there, and we had about 40 or 50 people in there. And
you walked right into a bear trap.
I was like, this is how I'm going to spend my first meeting.
My first meeting on the board was also probably the biggest one I had, and I had 40 or 50 people in the crowd. There was a big conflict over the Saddle Club fees. The previous board had increased fees, and it was trial by fire. It settles down eventually, but
I was pretty naive because my goal was to have everybody get along, and that first year was pretty tough doing that. So,
I want you to know I had your back the whole time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I was a big supporter.
Thanks.
I will say, when the weather's nice and I can actually drive around, by Memorial Park, because I take Sulphur Road into work.
You did a pretty good job driving around that cup today.
I will say, it's very nice to see the doughboy waving at me as I drive by it.
Thank you.
He's waving.
He's waving.
He's waving.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Now, before we get too... I do have a question. So, we have the doughboy. We have other...
There we go.
No.
Okay.
This is like a legit question.
Okay.
We have other veteran monuments, why is there not an OIF, OEF? And what do we have?
Operation Enduring Freedom.
Iraq and Afghanistan.
Iraq.
Oh, they're working on that. There's actually a group of people that are working very hard towards that, and I don't know the details, so I don't want to say much about it. But that's going to happen. I'm confident that they're going to have a nice memorial for that and for all of those conflicts. So it's coming.
And you guys are
Awesome.
you're taking the Smith Building. It's in the middle of a rehab. It's going at the speed of government, so it's taking some time.
A few setbacks, yes.
But the downstairs area, the basement or the walkout basement of the Smith Building, has been turned into a veterans museum.
Right. And it's
And
not
you had-
just one war, it's all conflicts. So what he was talking about, there will be an area and can be an area, and it's going to be changing. There won't be a lot of permanent things in there, but there will be cubicles or kiosks, whatever you want to say, where we can have veterans come and tell their story and put pictures and have their artifacts in that area. Or if you have a family member, you could have it put there and you can have a video. Am I saying too much?
No, you're doing great.
No,
Okay,
you're doing good. I
all
was
right.
pointing at Chris
Okay.
because he said veterans can put their own stories in there. Chris served, and I was like, "There you go."
Are
buddy.
you a veteran?
A
Yeah,
video.
yeah.
Well, I expect you out there in a kiosk when we get started.
That's what I'm saying.
You send the invite and we'll be there.
There's a lot of naysayers about that too, and a lot of people say, "Well, that won't happen." But you know what? I think it's going to happen, and
Well, you had
and it's needed.
a
so.
big event last week, Thursday of last week. There was a big dinner out there, right?
Yes, that was a dinner for veterans to get their ideas and other goals, and it went off really well. I wasn't there; I was at a town board meeting in Knightstown, but all accounts it went really well. So
Last Thursday, there were like 5 things happening. There was we had our show. The
Most important.
they had the big dinner over there. They had the soil and water dinner was at the gathering.
Knightstown Town Board
Knightstown
meeting.
Town Board.
The
It was-
state of the city address by the mayor.
I'm
know, it's
telling you,
great.
man. The Thursday last week was like
People need to start planning around us.
we should have
Yeah.
a common calendar.
Yeah.
We are the media.
We are the media.
We're getting double booked by the city council, the county council. What you were at the county council meeting? That's why you were late, Guffey. What?
Yeah.
Anything happen over there tonight?
Oh, it was getting so fiery, man. It was beautiful. So Aaron Dicken, who is city councilman, they brought him in because the city wants to join the Eastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission.
The county council turned them down at their January meeting.
4-3, a nay. One of the main issues was financial, and they also wanted to do a little more research to see if maybe we could see if that was the best interest for us. So, well, we've had a month now. The city wants to join, but they can't without the county. You have to join as a county. So the city, last I heard, don't hold me to the fire, but the city is willing to put in their 40 cents per capita, which is like $7,032, bringing the total for the county to $11,000 and some change.
And if Knightstown would kick in their share, man, it'd be like under 10 grand.
Well, what I'm hearing is they have approached somebody from Knightstown, and Knightstown wants to learn a little bit more about it to see if that's in their best interest.
Did they do it at public meetings? Because we don't like these backroom deals that try to go on all the time.
Backroom shenanigans, Corey Murphy. But no, but no. So,
But you said that the county council did vote again, right? And
well, that's what I'm getting from my informants in my backroom shenanigan dealings. That they at first they voted again, and they noted again because there was a county councilman that had some backward figures. I don't know where he got them from. Probably the calculator, but he had some backward figures, and he wanted the city to pay 50% of the $18,000 because he thought the city.
It's
of
just like
Newcastle-
Trump level negotiations, man. If they can get the city to pay for the whole thing and the county just has to
Hey.
say yes, it sounds like they're just expert level negotiating. And
it's
they,
the
like,
art of the deal.
Like President Trump this morning, sometimes you just have to walk away from Kim.
It's true. Sometimes you just got to walk away. But so
The
yeah.
Korean leader, not the other guy.
I know.
Landon, you've worked too long in the sheriff's department,
Still
man.
have like
I don't
40
know.
ounces.
But so yeah, they he wanted the city to pay half, which is 50%, which is ridiculous because the city of Newcastle does not make up 50% of the population of Henry County.
Well, when you count the jail population, though, the prison population,
No.
that doesn't do it?
No, because you take
Oh.
there's only 3,000 of those. So
It sounds to me like there are certain members of the county council that want the incorporated townships
to kick in.
to pay for it so that they don't have to.
Yeah, but the last county budgeted the $18,000 already for it, so it's already in the budget.
And council president Susan Hoon, I saw her talking on a Facebook post that she originally voted no, but she's definitely open to changing her mind, is what she said, as long as she could get some input from other towns such as Knightstown and Middletown, and places like that.
Knightstown, Middletown, Spiceland, Newcastle, and Kinnard.
I can tell you, Spiceland's on
Don't let
board.
Blountsville off the hook. Those guys got a pony up too.
I almost got pulled over in Kinnard again today. Passed the same cop car. And I was like, oh no. And I looked at my speed limit and I was going like 34 and a 30. And I was like, and then he started moving and I was like, I'm screwed. But he pulled over another person. Close call.
So those top five were approached by Councilman Malaco because they would have a board seat representing Henry County because they are the 5 largest incorporated communities in Henry County. So the
One
first
more
vote-
thing for you to volunteer for, Landon.
Sure is, buddy. Let's put that hat on. So they voted again, failed again, 4-3, and then I had to leave to come here to my beautiful people, my beautiful, beautiful people. And then as I was sitting here, I got more notifications from other backroom shenanigans that they took another vote and that it was 4-3 that they would join if the city pays their fair share.
Who was the lone dissenter?
What is the fair share?
It's just like Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez talking about the millionaires and billionaires.
Hey,
they have
Jeremiah,
to pay their fair share, but we don't.
If
there's
you
no
have to
specific
ask
number.
how we're paying for it, you're morally not right. Don't ask how we're paying for it.
All right, back to Grill and Landon. We're gonna get him on this one.
All right, hold on.
Are you okay there, buddy?
I got a couple questions for you.
Here we go. Okay.
If someone commits a crime, how long what are the statutes of limitations?
It's according to what the crime is. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but it's
Okay.
according to what the crime is. So
If
this-
you- all right, we'll
like-
start with this.
Save
If you
that for
drunk
Sean
drive
Brown.
home,
Say
but you shut the
misdemeanor.
garage door, you're home safe.
Like, let's say I'm not going to name names, but if a person gets pulled over when they're 18, and he has a person who is 17 in the vehicle, and that 17-year-old might have cigarettes on him, but he hands them to you to hide, so he doesn't get in trouble. What do you think the statute of limitations are on that?
I don't know because that would just be an infraction. So I'm not sure.
I don't.
I think he
would
could probably
go to-
still get you for that.
I don't think he'd go to jail for that.
Okay, good.
But I could.
It was his cigarettes.
How were they mine? I couldn't pay for them.
I don't know. I don't know how you got them, Dakota.
Are you drunk on milk tonight, buddy?
I might be. I don't know.
What date did that happen?
17.
I'll check for you.
Let's see, that was-
a long time ago.
That was almost 8 years ago.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh, was it 8 years ago?
Pretty close, yeah. We're getting old.
we're
Chase.
old.
Zach Bertram says we might see our very first arrest on the show if Chase starts confessing to crime. Oh my gosh! All right, so back to the Memorial Park deal. So you have a new generation of governance coming to the park.
Are you talking about the governance committee? The possibility of it? Yes.
There's talk of, and this is going back to 2.5 years ago when the expo was approved, that the commissioners and the council and the park board said, hey, we want to study governance of the park. So in that time, we've continued to govern the park with five board members by state statute because it's a war memorial.
Right.
And it says you're going to have five people that are appointed by county commissioners. There's a study that's starting now that the Hope Initiative is going to be involved in. It's supposed to last 9 months or so. Mm-hmm. But at the January commissioners meeting, when you were reappointed, you also got some new park board members that are non-voting, as I understand it.
3, and 1 has since quit. So
Okay.
because the meeting's conflicted.
It's
There he goes.
I don't know what he's doing. There's ice in there. You need some ice. You need some more cups. We're
you
doing
wanting
a
to share your
serious
milk?
show, buddy.
Sorry. I just need to see how many cups I have.
You're going to dirty all of my glasses. You're a horrible, horrible person.
All right, continue with.
So you've got a board of 5 voting members now, and then 3 additional members. How you've had one meeting so far? How is that going to look, and how's that going to? How do you expecting that to work?
Everything happened so fast and without explanation. That was my first thing when everybody showed up to the meeting. I didn't know what the advisory board's roles were, what we should have them do, where they should sit, where they shouldn't be at our meeting. I didn't know what their goals are, so we're working that out. I'm not sure. They're really nice people, and they want to be involved, and I'm looking forward to working with them. But I don't know what their goal is going to be.
I feel like he's going to spill milk, and then somebody's going to cry over spilled milk.
I'm not. I just wanted to dirty all 4 of them.
You're horrible, horrible people. This is. I know that you were expecting a professional radio show, Landon. So
I've seen it before.
This is
I'm
what
fine,
you get.
But I would.
There's trash cans moving around.
I'm excited to be here, except for the throw up.
It's like stupid human tricks tonight with Chase. I'm amazed that we ever have any guests at all. Honestly, you're turning full heel.
I'm a badass. I'm going to start with a small one.
Ignore this. That's happening on the right hand side of the camera. Let's keep talking to Landon about
Now,
that.
Landon, what's something that we can do to help modernize our parks?
What do we want it to be modernized? You have to explain to me what modernized.
I would. Okay, so with modernize, whenever I wrote the show notes and I put this in here, there was talk by some people from the Hope Initiative, I think it was, that they were looking at putting QR codes on all of the memorials in the park, so that kids could go around to them and scan them with phones and stuff and see them. So that's what I was talking about. I didn't know if there had been.
I don't know
any
how
more
it's going to
talk
happen
with that.
yet, but I'm sure it's going to happen. And the cool thing is, if they had that, they wouldn't have to have somebody walking around telling you what all the monuments were for. Should be a map that'll guide them around to those different things and tell them what they are. And inside the new museum, they'll have the same thing. So that modernization, yes. And it'd be nice if the schools in Henry County would come there for a field trip.
I would imagine it would be an attraction for more than just Henry County schools. I mean, I really think that making the park with a museum and being such an interactive place.
Have you been to the museum downtown here? That's an amazing place too. So I think we could market that. Instead of driving to Indianapolis, go to that museum part of the day, come to our museum, our new museum, see the memorials, understand what they are.
You're talking about the Gross Museum.
What's that?
The Gross. The William
Henry
Gross,
County.
the Gross home.
Yes.
General Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We went there, or I went there. I guess we live streamed the Raintree County dedication that was last summer. That's a really cool place. Really neat place inside.
I met a fellow. I'm not sure if he runs it or if he's in charge of Mr. Ingram. He's been to a couple of our meetings, and he was instrumental
Gene Ingram.
in redoing the cannon that's out there, and he worked really hard on that for several years.
So the Krupp cannon is a World War I cannon that was captured by General Bundy.
Yes.
Who Bundy Avenue in Newcastle is named after. He's a local guy, and it was captured in World War I, and eventually in the 40s or 30s it made its way to Henry County. And it had sat in the same location for over 50 years, 60 years, and it went under like a 3 to 4 year restoration at Magna Tool. So it came back 4th of July last year.
and they fired it.
It was pretty
It was
cool.
awesome.
It
Really
was
cool.
awesome.
It's very impressive.
Landon, what would I have to do to get a statue of Axl Rose in Memorial Park?
Indiana legend.
Is he a
Axl
veteran?
Rose.
He's a veteran of rock and roll.
I don't know. I'm just one person on the board. You'd have to bring that out. But
You're the president. You hold all the power. It's the executive.
You're going to make an executive order.
You just have to declare an emergency.
Oh man.
But, I was involved in the Leadership Academy, and we went around and we visit every nonprofit thing in Henry County, and there's so many things for people to see here. And those field trips with the Geyer House in Louisville, the Wilbur Wright Memorial, everything that they have here in Newcastle, we need to get together and work with those people and organize some kind of tourist thing.
So we've talked about it before. I don't know if we talked about it on the show, but people talk about Newcastle and Henry County and a lot of people leave here after they graduate high school, and they typically don't move back. Some of them do. Some people stay here like me, but
And Chase.
and
I've
Chase.
moved back and forth like 2 or 3 different times.
Chase lived in Virginia, Florida,
moved back to Florida. Yeah, it's been
and nothing beats Henry County, does it?
You just love the winters.
I love it so much.
But we really do have a lot to offer. We've got one of the largest county parks in the state of Indiana. We have 2 state parks in our county, right? Mount Summit and Westwood. Those are both state parks.
No, Summit Lake is a state park. Westwood is it's not a state park. It's a conservation district park.
Is it?
It belongs to the Big Blue River Conservation District.
Really?
Yes. So it's not a state park.
What's
I always
the
thought it was a
difference?
state park.
It's not a state park.
Then we have
It's
the
not gonna-
Wilburite
If you have a state
National-
park pass, it doesn't get you in. Well, Westwood is its own thing.
Yeah, then we have the Wilburite National Wildlife Reserve.
That's
Yeah.
a state hunting ground.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then Province Pond is state hunting ground as well, or state ground.
So
DNR controlled. But Westwood, it's not a state park. It actually has nothing to do with the
We
state.
know Senator Mike Kreider. He can pull some strings in the DNR for you, Chris, if you need to. No, but we really do have a lot to offer in Henry County. Jeremiah talked about it a lot on the campaign trail that he lives here on purpose, and I think that if everybody in the county could do a better job of showcasing the things that we have, and it's very obvious by the amount of things that you are involved in that you really believe in it too, but doing a better job of showing everything we have, just making people aware of it.
Yeah, we need to do, I guess marketing would be the right thing, and let everybody know about all these things that could happen, and organize the field trips. And it's really nice when I live I live a block from the Hoosier Gym, and on a daily basis, tour buses come from Indianapolis or everywhere else, and with loads of people to come to see that. And our own local people don't even know how cool that gym is, but people come from all over to see it. And big name people are there all the time, so.
It's phenomenal. It's on ESPN.
I can actually say I've never been to that gym.
You've never been, huh?
Landon, if I come, will you give me a tour?
Well, I will take you there and let the professional people that know what they're talking about talk to you. But yes,
Oh, perfect.
You want to offer?
you can play basketball there too.
Landon will let you do a ride along, maybe.
Ooh, can I?
Yeah.
Can I turn on the sirens?
Sure. You got a new car, by the way.
Only if it's behind Chase.
A what?
A new.
I did,
new
yes.
county car.
This is the first marked car I've had in 20 years because I've always been the sneaky snake under my.
Oh, so you're that guy.
Yep.
Now that's Matt Pierce, who is
Dirty cop.
he drives the unmarked SUV, but he's also kind of in charge of Spiceland. He patrols Spiceland, which is where I live, and I'm just waiting for the day that I don't see him parked in the church parking lot, and he catches me rolling through that stop sign right there in front of the old school.
That's not the worst stop sign in the county. The worst stop sign in the county is the one on the south side of Greensboro.
Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
that is
Oh,
terrible.
yeah.
I want that gone instantaneously. I think we wanted to reopen 14th Street by just taking the barricades. I think a couple of heroes could just pop that stop sign out and take it home, and nobody would cry.
There was the
We're not
problem.
condemning that act, but if you do,
They'd be heroes.
Well, after they redid that road several years ago, 20 years ago probably now, people
Greensboro
would
Pike.
really go flying through there and wouldn't slow down because it's a highway. It looks like a highway.
Right.
So that's why they put it there, just to get people to slow down.
I mean, one of the stop signs is a man's driveway.
Yeah,
It's,
Mr. Dalton. I know that.
It is that, and then you being a Knightstown guy, you would go to Carthage quite a bit. I'm sure over time. In Carthage, as you rolled into town, the Knightstown Carthage Railroad used to exist, and then we had the stop sign there at the railroad tracks for a train that ran twice a weekend. And now that train is finally gone, and mercifully that stop sign is gone. So now that the Carthage stop sign is gone, if the Greensboro one can go away, I think it'd be good for business. It'd be like living in a free land.
Just for the record, I missed that train. So
I know it was, but they didn't need a stop sign,
no,
or they needed a Saturday and Sunday stop sign only.
I agree.
When I was a boy, that train went all the way to Carthage. It was the CKS, and it was just the KS. And then in Knightstown, it just said "Thanks, Obama." They blamed.
I didn't like that sign.
It was obviously it was Team Donkey's fault.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
speaking about stop signs and blowing them and possibly stealing them, why did you decide to become a police officer?
Oh, I don't know. That's all I ever wanted to do since I was a little kid. I always had the little play badge and the toy gun that I'd probably be in trouble for now if I walked in. But I always had it. I just kind of knew that's what I was going to do. And my parents talked me into not doing that because it was dangerous and didn't make a lot of money. So I decided to teach. I tried that for a year, and that was dangerous anyway. So then I had the opportunity to start in the town of Shirley as their town marshal. So I did that. I'm glad I did.
So where did you teach?
What's that?
Where did you teach?
For 1 year, the Indiana Soldiers and Sailors Children's Home, the Burl Foster he was a teacher there, and he had a heart attack and had to take the year off, and I just filled in for a year. So I wasn't permanent, but I did do that for most of the school year. And it was a challenge because I was teaching some things that I didn't ever even had a class on. So when I was filling in for him. So
very interesting. And then he started as a town marshal. Was that a full-time deal, or did
I started as a reserve, and then in 1990 I was hired as the marshal.
Okay. So the reserve program is really neat. It's a really neat program that we offer, and I think it's awesome, especially from my libertarian side of me. I think that having the reserve program for police officers is not a lot of people know about it, and I think it's a really a shining star of our county because those guys put in a lot of work. They put a lot of their own time and their money and effort into it, and they don't get paid for it. They're just there to help.
Sheriff McCorkle 2 years ago put me in charge of the reserves, and I thought I'd done about everything. I've been on the SWAT team, and I'm a DARE teacher, and everything has been exciting. I don't have any regrets, but I started that to be their coordinator, and I tell you what, that's been the most rewarding thing that I have done. And those guys do come in; they work for nothing.
John Phillips is one of our supporters here, and he's one of your reserve deputies.
Yes, and we've doubled in numbers, and those guys just fill in shifts. And we have one guy off hurt now. We have one guy in the military. We have a guy in the academy. And if it wasn't for those reserves, we would really be working short. They truly make our force doable, and it's makes us all much safer.
And they help out with big events. So when you have the 4th of July, those guys are out there in force.
I don't know if you guys know about it, but the coolest thing about the reserves right now, not to say anything about the other reserves, but did you know about the intern program from Ball State University?
No.
3 years ago, we started taking interns, and in their final year, their criminal justice major, they come, and I'm their instructor. And so they spend a whole semester, and we put them through reserve training and the state requirements and a little reserve academy, and then they go out and they're actually reserves. And when they graduate from college, they're Henry County Reserve people. And they stay around even after. We had 4 last year, and they're all still here with the exception they all just got jobs.
Yeah. So it is competitive for departments to hire people. Obviously, it's something that Henry County struggled with retention. Mm-hmm. My dad is on the merit board in Rush County, and they just went through their process trying to fill some spots, and I think they had 6 applicants show up, and they couldn't get any to the point where they could hire them.
I know, I heard that. Yeah,
they had 5 or 6 that were different physical. It's not easy to pass the exams.
What is the physical exam?
The physical exam, 27 push-ups, I believe, 27 sit-ups.
How long?
A mile and a half run in, I don't know, 16 minutes or something. It's been a while since I took one, but what else? Oh, and a vertical jump. When I went to the academy, you had to bench press your weight. It wasn't bad then because I only weighed 165. But
what's your what's the vertical?
Oh,
3.5 feet.
I don't know.
LeBron James.
I don't know the details. I should, but I don't.
You want to do it, Guffey?
Hell no. Somebody.
So I actually called the sheriff's department and inquired about applying to be a reserve.
Why don't you do that?
3 years ago.
You wouldn't be able to talk to any of them.
Yeah.
Mike says a gallon of milk.
I'd have to have Sean. I'd have to have Sean Rao with me there just to have conversations.
To have your attorney present.
You'd have to shave too. You can't have a beard.
Yeah. But 3 years ago, I called and I really wanted to apply. It was after talking to John Sproles, and I wasn't 21 yet, so I couldn't. And then we started this podcast, and I got busy.
It's taking away all of your free time.
But I really do think it's a great thing. I think it's something that is very commendable about our county.
Well, you should come and see how that whole program works sometime. Right along, it is a good program. I'm proud of it, and we just got one of our guys got hired by Plainfield Police Department, another one by Columbus Police Department, and then we hired one. We hired one of the interns this year for one of the open spots we had, so it's fun.
I know my recruiter went through the reserve, and I believe he's on full time now. Rob Moore.
Yes.
There he is.
He's our superstar. He's on my shift, and
He ain't no superstar.
He is.
No.
That guy gets more arrests and more stops and more drugs off the road. He doesn't piddle around with traffic too much, but the amount of drugs that one officer takes off the road, it's amazing. I don't know how he does it.
Would he pull somebody over for going 63 and a 60?
I don't think so.
I feel bad for all of these tourists, Landon, that are going from Oregon to Washington, D.C., and they happen to pass through Henry County, and they fill up our jail over here.
Well, they just need to hide their heroin and their 10 pounds of marijuana. And they need to hide that stuff better, I guess.
So, if you were trafficking drugs, why would you go above the speed limit? And why would you not check to make sure your taillight is out?
I have a theory that when you're taking drugs across the country, you probably start in Texas or California, and by the time you get here, you're so nervous and you just want it to be done that you're just going really, really fast, and then you meet Rob Moore, Deputy Rob.
See, that was my logic as I was...
Why, my.
As I was going by the state cop, I was like, man, if I'm going 63, obviously he's going to know that I'm not doing anything criminally
Councilman,
wrong.
would you like one?
We have one.
We got White Russians. We've got Miller High Life. Come on in. You got to open it up on camera.
Guys, I'm not going to lie. I am really feeling it right now. I only have 2 glasses left. Like, I'm so close.
Finish it.
So what's the reward if he does that?
I don't know why
Nothing.
he's doing this.
There's
I really
no
don't know
reward.
how this happened, how this came about.
A big guy told you so.
It was a bet from our landlord. You can't lose to your landlord.
I think I'm going to lose.
You're only 2 glasses of milk away, buddy.
I know, but I am so full.
Man up, Chase.
Come on, Chase.
Oh, wow.
I
All
believe
right.
in
So I picked a little bit of a fight on the internet.
Surprise,
I can't imagine.
I know.
surprise.
So this happens. And
That's why I
there
didn't
was
vote for you.
Yeah, I know. That and you lived in Mr. Malicote's district.
You didn't even
So-
vote for him.
He had it in the bag.
So I saw that Moreland posted an arrest record of a fellow who had some marijuana and some vape pens on him.
Uh-huh.
And it was, hey, here's this haul we had. And he had a weapon. He had a gun, and I think he had a vest, right?
A bulletproof vest?
A bulletproof vest or some sort of body armor.
Okay.
I think it was they said it was like class A2, so it wasn't an A3.
Where did he get it? Do we know?
It wasn't in the media release. So
Okay.
they put out a press release. The Morrell Town Council did. So I shared it, and I said, if this happened 250 miles north of here, what crime was committed? Right? Because you have the right to a weapon, to a gun. A vest, I don't think, is illegal to have for personal protection.
Anybody can buy a vest.
And then you have and it's a legal product, right? Marijuana is legal in Michigan now. So
Is it? I didn't know it was legal in Michigan.
Recreational marijuana is legal in Michigan now. It started this year. So I'm at the point where I want to have a conversation as to why we're putting guys like you in a spot where you have to create conflict or violence over something that, 8 states it's legal, 9 states it's legal, and it's trending that direction. Heroin's one thing, and but a plant that's okay in 20% of the country. Why are we putting you at the end of a gun and putting you in harm's way to enforce this?
Well, even the officers. I mean, it's putting you in harm's way whenever. They pulled that guy over. He had an AR-15 modified. It was a modified AR-15, so it was a pistol AR, but it still was a. They found it was loaded with 5.56. So and he's got body armor, and so the police officer that pulled him over is in danger. The man who got pulled over is in danger. Like,
I hate to comment on
right?
I haven't seen the report. Didn't see the press
Right.
release either.
I guess not specifically this case.
But did he have a permit to carry it, or you don't have to have a permit in Michigan?
No, this was in Moreland.
I know.
So he had a concealed carry permit.
Okay.
Or in theory,
he didn't get arrested for anything about a gun. Okay.
Right.
All right.
But what I'm saying is, I guess, is I want to have that type of, it might be criminal now, but I think that's the kind of incident that I want to use to have a conversation to say, hey, why do we want to expect our law enforcement people to be put in this position? It's a 3 years from now, 5 years from now, is this the law that we want to have?
Well, I'm troubled over the marijuana thing, and I didn't know we were going to talk about that because
Neither did we.
what somebody does is their own business. But when they do it and then they think it's okay to drive, and that's the only thing that troubles me about this is people think, oh, you can smoke a joint and get in a car and take off, and you really can't because it does impair you.
Right.
And I think the states that have legalized it have seen increases in personal injury accidents on the highway and stuff. So, it's just hard for me for the safety part to say, oh, yes, they should legalize it. I understand for the money, and it is a plant, and there are people that smoke marijuana every day and do it smartly and don't get in trouble. But a lot of people aren't like that,
Right. But we have guys that drink beer or people that smoke cigarettes. We do a lot of things that aren't healthy or good for you, but it's not
That's
criminal.
very easy to measure. And especially for law enforcement, there's the statute even says about the level that you're allowed to have,
right.
and the police test you for impairment. And I guess it's the unknown because maybe someday they could have, if they legalize it, they'll have a way to test how much is in your system.
Right. And that's kind of the problem with marijuana is how long it stays in your system.
30 days.
Yeah. And you just don't know. So I just read an article. This was actually, I didn't just read it. It was a few months ago, but some scientists were working on developing a method they were like paper strips that could test your saliva, and it could test how recently you had smoked marijuana that had THC in it. So that's one thing that they were, and ironically, it was actually in Colorado, I believe, that they were developing this. So it's like that is that's your perfect circumstance. If we can get something to where we can accurately measure when a person has smoked marijuana, whether or not they are under the influence, then I don't think that there's anything to hold back. It's like there's
right now it's super dangerous because I believe it's still the fact that if you have THC in your bloodstream and operate a car, that alone is against the law.
Right.
So if you're in a serious bodily accident or injury or a fatality, you have to take a blood test. That's just Indiana law. So you could not even be at fault. You could have no impairment whatsoever, and then that THC pops up, and
now it's criminal activity.
Yeah, it's not a criminal thing that caused the accident because it's absent of any impairment, but you still could be in trouble for that. So those things that scares me a little bit.
Right, because you could have smoked weed 28 days ago.
So the law needs to catch up with where things have gone or what public policy has become.
The technology too.
And I just always been anti-weed. Just because of what I've seen it do, and there's no way to measure it. And I teach DARE up at Shenandoah to the fifth graders, and I tell them, try to get them not to try it, and try to tell them all the things. So it's hard for me to sit and say, oh, I think that's a good thing. The jury's still out in my mind. In other words,
right? Yeah. No, I'm looking at it as a pragmatic person, right? I've never, I rebelled. I didn't smoke because, my parents did when they were in high school or whatever, right? So I didn't. I was straight.
Jeremiah's rebellion was staying sober.
That's right. But it's a one that, we spend so much money chasing after this stuff. And two, we put guys like you that are, protecting us at risk and creating violence. And I want, if somebody's committing force or fraud or violence, that's one place where, it makes sense for you to have conflict.
Well, where I've lightened up, and it's made it a little safer because most people fight and get crazy when they find out they're going to jail. So with the marijuana arrest now, it's suggested and it's okay to write a ticket for the marijuana. And that helps reduce that problem, but it's still an arrest. It's still a misdemeanor, and it still goes on your record, and they still have to go to court.
So we have some people who are coming into the chat right now. Chris,
yes, hello. I saw that.
What was the okay?
I'm
you
lost.
saw the question.
Yes.
What's the question?
Did the county decide to pass the budget. And what I'm hearing is 5-1. They passed on the contingent that Newcastle pays its fair share, like we discussed. But it's 5-1, and we had one no vote.
So
their fair share is 50%, right?
So is there?
That's what I'm hearing.
Is there an update from any city councilman from Newcastle that wants to do a live interview to explain his side of the story?
We have an open seat right here.
Yes. You could take my seat right now. I would not hate it.
You can slide in there, and I will adjust your mic on the fly.
No, he's shaking it off. I think we're trying to tap in the relief pitcher, and he says the starter's got to stay.
Maybe after Landon's interview.
All right, perhaps.
But yes,
Perhaps.
5-1.
So I say I'm against marijuana. Now you're kicking me out, right?
Hey, that's how libertarians work, Landon. That's how libertarians work.
Well, we
I guess I
usually
have to-
smoke with our guests, but I guess we'll pass this time.
Yeah.
So it was in the news this week that Governor Holcomb smoked in college, and it ruined his life. He got elected governor. So I don't know.
He said it ruined his life.
He got elected governor. So he's. I mean, it's
he's
just a
starting now.
a tailspin, man.
It was funny because I watched that interview, and it was like a newspaper interview. It wasn't really a televised thing, but it is on video. And the reporter says, "Did you smoke marijuana in college, or have you ever smoked marijuana?" And he goes, "Yes." And he goes, "When did you smoke it?" And he's like, "In college." And he's like, "So would you support or be open to any kind of legalization?" He's like, "No." And you're like, huh? Do as I say, not as I do.
Not all Republicans are as brave as Jim Lucas, who will say, "Yeah, I took a tourist trip to California or to Colorado and
smoked
did
as much as I
everything I
could."
could."
And then Jim Lucas, he's the one that posted the video I saw, and he's like, "Dear Governor Holcomb," and he tags him in it, and he's like, "I went to Colorado to see how dangerous marijuana was, and I smoked as much as I possibly could." And he's like, "And I got a great night's sleep and woke up without a hangover." And he's like, "Governor, you just say the word and I will arrange the trip and we can go anytime." and then you're like, that's what Tom was talking about whenever he said that the Speaker of the House, Brian Bosma, and the governor meet with the Republican legislature and say, "Nothing crazy this year, guys." I think that those messages are directed at Jim Lucas inviting the governor to go smoke weed with him in Colorado.
All right, so we've drifted off track.
Always do.
It's the welcome to the tradition of the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. We'll wrap things up with Landon. You're on the road, so you're a road deputy, but you have some interaction with the jail, and that's been something that has been discussed over the past few years, and it looks like at some point, at some level, we're going to have something happen with our facility over here.
Well, first of all, I'm just a road deputy.
You're
and
just
I
a
take
guy.
people there. I haven't been on any committees. Sheriff McCorkle and all the councilmen, they've all worked really hard.
I checked the official roster. You are slated after Jay to be sheriff, so you should be sheriff in 2028
2028
or 2032. Yes.
No, I'll be in Florida.
At least that one's a paid position.
Yeah, that's right. But I don't want to slight what they've studied because I've not been involved in that. But yeah, we need a new jail, or that one's in terrible shape, and I don't know why it's in terrible shape, but I don't think it was built very well in the first place, and it was the wrong design, and it was behind times when it was built. So those folks have been working really hard studying everything, but the thing's the money.
Breaking on the Chase news, he's pouring the milk
He's putting it back in the gallon.
I'm tapping out, boys. I just want to see how many ounces I drink. I'm really full.
Do you need an ambulance yet?
I'm getting there.
We have a cop that can run.
If I
cherries and
pass
berries.
out and need mouth to mouth, I want Dakota to do it. I've known him the longest. He's seen me in the shower with a bunch of men before, so he knows what I'm about.
I think he's drunk on milk. I really do. I do. I think that's what's happened. All right, so they need a new jail. Do you have any thoughts on where it should be? There's a regional jail talk where it might not be downtown. Do you think you have to have a jail downtown?
I don't think it has to be downtown. We need one. And again, I hate to slight what they've done, and I'm not the spokesperson for the sheriff's department, but a few years ago, then Sheriff Baker proposed to turn our youth center into a jail at a fraction of the cost, and I don't know why they never did that. But again, that's just my personal opinion. There's probably 100 reasons why they didn't, but that would have been an ideal location, I thought. And if you spend 5 instead of 55, I think you'd be better off. But I don't know.
Well, I've been saying the Shell building for forever. I think that would make a great jail with a pod
and it'd be free,
system.
right?
Yeah, and we've already practically own it. No, we don't actually, but practically.
All right.
There he goes.
I was going to have to get the camera out. All right. I think we're at the point where we're going to start to do final thoughts. Mr. Guffey, you've got something coming up this weekend, do you not?
Yeah, there's a hockey game Saturday. I think the drop puck time is 7:30.
You do anything early Saturday afternoon?
I got to work in the morning.
In between?
Yeah. There's is it the 6th District Libertarian Convention?
Are you maybe going to apply for a new job?
Whoa, what?
Maybe? Is there a rumor?
There's rumors. There's always been rumors.
Do you want to confirm any rumors?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
We'll have to wait until Saturday. Daryl Radford will be at the District 6 Libertarian Area Convention, and he will be covering anything.
We brought the media?
Unless some kind of news comes out now, then the Courier's going to get it before the
Oh,
Boss
yeah,
Hog
we
does.
can't let that happen. In breaking news, Chris Guffey will be running for City Councilman Ward 3 against Jerry Walden.
No,
wow.
Well, we don't know yet.
That's true. I don't know.
Hold up.
Are you sure you live in Ward 3?
No, I don't know where I live.
You can be borderline homeless, and it works out. I've heard some council members just kind of they're adrift for almost a year between homes.
Hold on, actually, I'm going to run in Ward 4, and I'm just gonna put a few shirts in somebody's house and stay a few nights.
So here's how the process works. Chris, you have come forward and said that you want to put your name in the hat to try to run for city council.
That is correct.
And being libertarians, we don't have a primary, so we don't do our candidate selection in a May primary like the Republicans or Democrats typically do. Not doing it this year, but the way that
none
we
of you
work,
guys could show up.
right? The way that we work is we have a private convention, and for the past 4 years, I think we've held it at Montgomery's Steakhouse, and the members come together. We bring forward the candidates that have put their name in the hat, and then the membership votes on that. So Saturday is when the membership for the Libertarian Party of Henry County will be voting on whether or not Chris secures his nomination to run for city council. So that's why it's a very, very important clarification as of right now.
I'm putting my name in the hat, but I'm not running.
Yes.
Okay.
You're seeking the nomination.
I am seeking the nomination for the Libertarian Party.
All right. Landon, do you want to make any announcements for things you might be running for? Anything else we left out?
What else?
Not for a while.
All right.
A few years.
Did we miss anything tonight? If people want to volunteer with the park or the reserves, how do they get involved? And this is your chance to plug.
Okay, the reserves, we need help, and the applications can be picked up at the sheriff's office, and they'll be reviewed, and we'll do a process. We need all kinds of volunteers at the park, and we can contact the superintendent to find out. They got some cleanup days started, so we need help there too. So
very good. Thank you for joining us, Landon. This has been
Thanks
fun.
for having me. I want to come back.
All right. We didn't scare you off too much.
No.
All right. Chase Peyton he's back on the milk train. Don't drop that milk. I'm going to take a picture here live on the air, Chase.
He's making the final push, boys.
Oh, my God.
Well, he's making the final push real quick.
That is disgusting.
I do also want to say that during the council meeting, Boar's Head wants to expand again.
Really?
For the third time.
For the third time.
Oh, my gosh.
They want to bring another plant, which they cannot say for some merchandising or marketing reason.
Bruce.
What it's going to be.
Adam?
But
Bruce.
59,
You seen that?
58 or 59 more jobs at an average of $17 an hour. And they're seeking a 6-year, 100% tax abatement. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I'll say this about Boar's Head. during my time as an industrial electrician, as an inside wireman, building that job, I was employed there for a year working on that construction project. That was the best job I ever had. They were the people that were building there and the property managers, great people.
Matt Pierce says that 112 South Main Street is the place to pick up your reserve applications for the Sheriff's Department.
Thank you, Matt. He's always correcting me.
There you go. Man,
But he always makes my car run funny. Whenever he's in my car, it won't shift gears or anything.
sugar in the gas tank.
Something. I don't know what he's doing.
How are you learning how to drive that new marked car? I saw you had some trouble in one of the snowstorms. I felt
did.
bad.
Yeah,
I
I
felt
got
really
stuck.
bad. I was home warm in bed, and I kept looking at my phone, and you were trying to. You couldn't even figure out where you were. It was,
I was
so bad.
buried. Yeah, I was ready just to start walking.
Your post helped me learn that those cruisers are all-wheel drive, though.
It is.
It's pretty cool.
But when you're about 4 foot off the pavement on
Doesn't
snow,
make
it
much
doesn't matter.
The wheels got to be touching something.
Yes, that's right. And then the snow plow, they came to pull me out. They got stuck. So
It's a real great night.
yes, it was bad.
All right, Chase, buddy, you are 95% of the way through a gallon of milk.
I'm so full.
I need to think of another motovational quote.
He helped me out for a second. He called me the P word.
So Cody Parkey's gone.
Yeah, I have a couple of final
But
thoughts.
your kicker, the guy you wanted, he's been re-signed by the Niners.
You're being
Yeah.
the Cody Parkey of the gallon drinking world right now, though. You really had all of our hopes up, and then you're just going to shoot it off to the
It's
side.
a double doink
Listen,
over there.
If I got paid $9 million to drink this, I would. Okay. Yeah. Robbie Gould was franchise tagged by the 49ers again, which is sad. So, but I'm happy for him. He gets a buttload of money for 1 year, and then he can sign with us next year. So, good for him.
That's all you got?
No. Other final thoughts is I'm very excited because I saw a picture of the date Game of Thrones is going to start again.
Ah, yes.
April 14th.
April 14th. Yeah.
Jared, have you seen Game of Thrones yet?
I saw one scene.
Okay.
It was shameful.
Real quick, do any of you
Shame.
can I come over and watch any of your guys' house? Because I don't have cable, so can I come to one of your houses and watch it?
Yeah, you're
I
always
don't
welcome
either.
to
I
our
have
house.
to
Listen,
wait
man,
for it to
Who
come
has
out.
HBO?
I have HBO now. I'll let you have the password.
Whoa.
Can I get the password?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Only one person can use it at a time, though. So we're gonna have to work something out. I've been rewatching Game of Thrones. If you want to watch every episode before it starts, you have to watch at least 1.5 episodes a night to get completely caught up. Like a little over 1.5. So you need to get started.
I own all of the seasons on Vudu, so I'll let you have my password, and you can also watch every single episode.
The Morrell
Okay.
brothers, I supply a Netflix login for the family.
me.
And Guffey also he's a fourth Morrell that nobody asked for. And
That's true.
and I have I borrow my brother's HBO Go. And I watch it for Veep. I really enjoy Veep on there. That's probably my favorite HBO
Gosh.
series right now.
Your whole
We can't. We've got to stretch this show until you finish this gallon of milk, or else the rent's going to go up. Hody thinks you finished the gallon of milk. Hody doesn't know that you're.
Oh, Hody, I'm so sorry
You're
to break this
halfway.
to you.
Hody, man, I'm at 96%. And I'm struggling.
You know what's the worst thing is if you hit the railroad tracks east of town on 38, and it just you have the.
I might
The
have to sleep
projectile.
here tonight, to be honest. I don't know.
Well, above the bathroom is
Quick,
always
what ward
welcome
is
for
this? Quick, what ward is this? We can run him.
You might have to call the detailing guy. Get your car
you.
detailed.
Brandon Louder,
Brandon Louder,
five-star
yeah.
detailing.
All right,
Right.
Dakota, what do you got?
My final thoughts are: I want to plug the Libertarian Party District 6 area convention again. I sent out another email to all the current and previous members of the Libertarian Party in Henry County, Rush County, Wayne County, and Delaware County. You all should have gotten an email from me just as a reminder that everyone that comes to attend the convention needs to purchase a ticket because your ticket purchases are what pay for the use of the space and also the catering from Montgomery Steakhouse. So,
Oh boy.
but also, my other final thought is we shared the survey that we put out last year. It's been 6 months, so if you took it 6 months ago, then you can take it again.
This is worse than the peppers.
No way.
Oh yeah.
It's because you drank whole milk.
Yeah, if you drink 1%,
Man, if I would have drank 1%, I would be done.
What a quitter!
I bet Almond Breeze wouldn't
Hold
have
on,
this.
we got to
effect
keep
on
this
you.
going, guys. I need like 5 more minutes.
All right,
Okay.
all right, we'll get you there.
I'm trying. You keep interrupting me, though. But
If,
we
if
have
the city councilman's hiding out in the back would give us an update on the meeting tonight, maybe we could stretch it a little bit.
We've determined that if you stay here and you put, just leave your toboggan here and your jacket here, you'll be in Mark Koger's district, and we need somebody to run against him. So we got this.
Or you'd be at large.
Or we can run you against
That's
the
right,
mayor.
because I was
Mayor
going to run
Chase.
against Mark Koger.
Axel, hey
but
Chase,
then I moved.
Yeah.
hey, if you run for mayor, you can put that Axl Rose statue wherever you want.
Ooh. That
Right in the
sounds
middle
like
of
a
14th
great
Street.
idea.
Right in the middle of 1400 Plaza.
Oh no!
I need a couple more minutes. Keep going. Keep going. Keep making some
Chase,
ideas.
are we going to hang out Friday night at the Newcastle sectional?
I don't know, man. I promised my girlfriend it'd be date night.
What
Take her
what
to
could
the
be
sectional.
a better night than hanging out with 10,000
His-
in Newcastle?
his
It's the
bottom
biggest
lip-
night of the year.
His bottom lip just trembled.
There's a little quivering.
I've been shivering this whole time, this whole episode.
Your father's texting you, Dakota. Apparently, your family doesn't respect the fact that you're on the air.
No, I guess not.
What? He's trying it again. You're there, buddy. You want Dakota to rub your belly? Just a little. You want counterclockwise or clockwise? What helps?
My dad sent me a YouTube video for Chase to watch.
He's almost got it. He is
Landon, where does this rank on
97.5%.
where does this rank as far as seeing dumb people do dumb things?
Oh, it's good. I've never seen this live. So
So I mean,
not since college.
I assume as a police
Oh my God.
officer, you guys have canonized Super Troopers. Like you've got to watch that movie and
About 50 times.
get excited.
Yeah.
And this is like watching them drink all the maple syrup.
No, don't.
Don't touch you.
Well, oh, this is where they pass out. Oh God!
Look at him.
Woo! We did it. We've completed it.
Now the rent won't go up.
He's gonna throw up. You can't. That doesn't count. It doesn't count if.
Oh, I heard him.
Oh no!
I hope that wasn't. I hope you couldn't hear that in the microphones.
I'm. It's very bad because we
Councilman,
don't-
go ahead, sir.
we don't
That mic
have-
is open. Look at this. Breaking news.
Ignore all of
Newcastle-
the sticky dairy products that are over there.
Breaking news. City Councilman Aaron Dicken joins us here on 102, the Boss Hog of Liberty.
Not 102.5 up the street, but episode 102.
I'm just saying 102.5.
We're surrounded by Democrats and former Democrats, Dakota.
Okay, well, Landon is an independent, but I guess technically.
I heard a horrible noise.
That sounds violent.
Chase is a screamer.
Oh, God. Hey, keep it going is what we hear from the other room. Oh, this is
I'll give my seat back up.
rock bottom. All right, real quickly.
I haven't been here in a while.
Yeah,
this-
come hang out with us once in a while, buddy. You've been running around with Pete Buttigieg.
I have not been running around with him.
I saw.
Buttigieg, right?
Buttigieg, yeah.
Yeah, I was right that very first episode we
Buttigieg.
talked about him. In case anybody was wondering.
Mayor Pete.
Went and saw him speak, what was that, Sunday at IUPUI? I mean, if you haven't, and I know that,
I'm
the
very
word
impressed.
Democrat turns a lot of people off,
Doesn't
obviously.
turn me off.
But
I heard
he's
him on,
really intelligent.
He was on the Pete the
and-
Planner podcast.
See, I tried to look for that because I didn't know if you were like messing with me.
No,
or-
he really was.
Okay.
Have you?
I just
listened?
saw that CNN's going to do a town hall with him. which I feel like is huge.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have a name you can pronounce very easily, and he's from Indiana. So two strikes
those
against
are the only
him.
two
But,
things against him.
I mean, he's talked a lot about his successful
those are the only
from failure.
Two things that would keep people from voting
Anybody.
for him,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure that's it. Yep.
Look at our champion.
Why is there milk splatter on your glasses, man?
I'm impressed with how quickly you came back. Honestly, here you can have your seat back.
Many years of
I thought it would
drinking,
be
he
worse.
learns how to bounce
Really
back.
quickly, two things. Congratulations,
Yeah.
you're a homeowner again. You're no longer homeless.
Yeah,
There
we're
was
excited.
big things on the internet. You found a new home somewhere in your district, I assume.
Yes, yep, and was completely intentional, and we want to do it right, and my wife was behind that too.
Very good.
I don't think I'm going to be on the city council forever, so I mean,
saw-
it's a
Mayor
pretty weighty
Dicken.
decision.
I saw your wife and your son
Yeah,
in the
and
Walmart.
so
over the week.
I've been
was-
too busy to type all this out.
Yes.
So I'm the type, and my wife will tell you this, I'm the type that will walk across the store to say hi to my YMCA third grade T-ball coach.
Right.
I don't think you played T-ball in third grade, probably, Chase, sportscaster. That's probably past. Yeah, you're out of this. So. And so she is an introvert, and it's really hard for her. But the one thing she said was, I didn't think that Jeremiah was going to say hi to me. And I said, you of all people are upset about that. So yeah, no, she said, yeah,
So
you helped.
So here's the way this went down. I was in frantic mode. It was Tuesday night, and I've been, the internet knows, I've been a single puppy dad all week with my wife out of town.
Oof.
And as it turned out, we had a junior leader meeting scheduled at my house. It was movie night for the junior leaders. They
Oh,
were coming over at
nice.
6:30.
So you had to find the menu.
I work in Muncie,
Yep.
so I get home at 5:30. I got home and realized I'm having anywhere between 1 and 20 kids at the house, and I have no snacks.
Ramen and water.
So I'm like, well, we need to go to the snack aisle at Walmart right now. So I'm desperately trying to what do kids like? Soda and popcorn and all of the
How
things
old are
that-
these kids?
They're all teenagers, middle schoolers.
wouldn't
But
say
it's all
kids.
of it's the
Fruit
stuff that
snacks.
I've thrown away as
These
we
are
went to
4-H kids, though.
the South Beach diet thing or
You know
whatever.
the
I
type.
have no
Jeremiah.
sugar. I've got nothing fun in the house. So I'm desperately searching on a mission with 3 seconds to spare, and I see this redheaded child.
You can't say
climbing-
redheaded stepchild. It's
No,
a
I
little
don't think
too
he's a
close to home.
stepchild. This redheaded kid is climbing.
Yeah, we don't, listen. I don't want to be
he's-
liable for anything that's
He's
publicly out here.
climbing the shelves in the Walmart chip aisle, and I didn't realize who it was. And I look up, and I
Until
can
he
see
fell
him.
and you could see his face.
So I can see him reaching to the very back, trying to get this bag of pretzels that obviously his father demands only that brand.
Obviously.
And I'm like, I literally, I'm just like, do you need help? I didn't realize that it was the Dicken clan. I'm just see this
Oh, well,
this,
see, that makes me
this
feel better.
child desperately trying to make his father happy to get pretzels.
He's not
Now-
a child. He's a young man.
He's a
first
He
teenager.
is
of all.
13.
Yes.
in January.
Not very
And,
tall yet.
But that was a good game plan because he has surpassed his mother. So I mean, of the two, he was the taller one. So,
Yes.
yeah.
So I wasn't trying to ignore
So
them
thank you.
either, but that was the story, and I'm like, oh, I know who they are now. They came to my house back in October looking for candy.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We did.
So that was fun.
Special
Anyway,
stop.
I
I bet
noticed
they got
that.
a flyer for your campaign, didn't they?
So
Button for my collection, actually.
Beautiful.
so you went to the county council meeting tonight,
Correct.
as the ambassador from the Republic of Newcastle.
Yes.
The Democratic People's Republic.
Have you agreed to pay your fair share to get into this club that you're trying to drag the county along to? What's going on?
So this was, a big discussion, and I tried to reiterate a couple times there that the reason this was reconsidered tonight is because myself and Councilman Walden and I think a lot of other city council members had conversations with the county council and asked why they voted the way they did, which is I think the way it should work, and not just elected officials asking other elected officials. Like any constituent should be asking their elected officials why they vote the way they do. And just ask them if they would reconsider. There are, I think, a couple of concerns on the city side, but we know that the county is not in the greatest fiscal condition right now. And I think at the same time see the value in this planning commission, and not just for grants. Like, I know that that's the number one thing that's taken out there is, well, if we join this, we can apply for grants. Yes, that's true. And I think that can be beneficial if we do it, but it's the other stuff too, like the collaboration. Tonight I talked about lobbying efforts and there being strength in numbers. There's a lot, it punches a lot of boxes for me in matching up with, our county and our city's plan and what we need to do to progress ourselves forward.
All right. So there were a couple of votes taken tonight, as I understand it. And ultimately there was one that allowed, there's one path forward for this project now. Yeah. After tonight's meeting. Yeah.
So what will happen is, I think, through this discussion, because I've kind of gone back and forth between my cohorts on the city council and the county council, and one of the concerns that's come up and I brought up tonight was that we've got to have more direct communication. We impact each other too heavily to not speak very clearly and efficiently with one another. So I think that we're going to look at, appointing unofficially one person on each council to kind of, build that bridge a little bit.
Some sort of a non-voting member.
Right. Well, no. I must have missed something there.
I will say this, though. Councilman Dicken, I will say this.
If Kim Cronk will just appoint a county council person to the city council, or if Ed Tarantino
it's
wants
not like that. It's to get.
I think they have the authority.
It's to open up those lines of communication to where we can help each other out in a situation like this. So,
I will say, one of my official barbers is on the county council. So if
mine too. No, city council. Sorry, I got confused.
You have
my barber's on the city council.
Who?
Me.
Oh, well, I mean,
come on, right, Landon? Right?
Yeah, cheaper.
Dollar Shave Club. Boys
wow, we're all.
Wow, I don't know what hairs he's having trimmed at the barbershop, but it sounds expensive.
I was really appreciative. I think leadership's hard because it's messy.
I do have a question though. The final vote for Newcastle to pay their fair share.
That's going to be the discussion Monday night at the city council.
But we thought, we heard earlier that the final vote was 5-1 if Newcastle pays.
Right? Yeah, it's all contingent.
Who was the one that said no? Regardless,
I know this is probably going to come as a shock, but I couldn't hear very well, so I didn't exactly hear the official cast vote. So that I didn't. I don't want to necessarily say what I don't even think I told Chris the correct vote count at first.
Can you tell me, and then I'll break it?
Hold on. I've got a county councilman on the line.
Oh, gotcha.
Hold on, I gotta wait. Sometimes he's slow.
Well, while we're waiting, I just want to express, and I tried to. I stayed after the meeting because I wanted to express my appreciation on behalf of the city council for their reconsideration, because I know it's not ideal, and I know that once you get burned, you're sensitive to that and a little hesitant. But I think with the appointees that the county has and the city has, I think this is going to be a really good thing.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us.
Hey, I honestly just wanted to come by and hang out. So thanks for inviting me again.
It's fun.
Thanks for giving me a seat.
We needed to celebrate. Do you want to help us finish a Miller High Life? These are a gift from the guy in your office.
I know. Well, that's why I was trying to do some recon earlier this week, and I think I successfully did that under the radar.
It worked out. Yes, it did. Oh my gosh! All right. What a club you've created, Chase. I can't believe
he's got followers.
La da 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 da. It's the motherfucking D-O-double-G. Snoop Dogg.
Now I have to put Chase. At least you saved it to the end this time, so no 4-year-olds are asking their mothers what it means.
Guys, I did
last week.
Congratulations. We're very proud of you.
I just want to say, I told you so.
You also threw up 3 times.
I did.
And we had to extend the show.
I'll also be honest, I think I also pooped myself a little bit too. If we're being completely honest. There was some pressure on the back end that just came out.
Oh my. Landon, you really want to come back?
Yeah.
All right. Anything final from you?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. Next week, I think we're going to have a host show. I'm working on a call-in from a recording artist who's got a little agenda. Former Indiana resident, guy named Jordan Page. Been talking to his wife. They've got a little project they're working on and looking for some promotion opportunities. So I think next week it'll be a host-only show. But we'll have a phone call from Jordan Page. If you Google him, look him up. He's on iHeartRadio, all kinds of stuff. A lot of Liberty type songs, real big in the Ron Paul campaigns. He was kind of when he was running for president, he was the theme song guy for that. So we don't do a lot of remote telephone calls, but for him, we'll make an exception.
Be the first one with a producer.
Yes, it's going to be a big test for Guffey over there. We'll find out. All right, that's enough of this. We're going to get a group picture. We'll see you all at episode 103 next week.
Thank you for listening to the Boss Hog of Liberty, which is part of the We Are Libertarians Network. I am Chris Spangle, and I am the founder of this network, and I invite you to listen to all of our shows, which you can find at WeAreLibertarians.com or by searching for these in your podcatcher. The flagship show is the We Are Libertarians podcast, where we apply libertarian principles to current events. The Brian Nichols Show is a conversation amongst Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Independents, as they talk about what is happening in the news. And we have many other podcasts like The Chris Spangle Show, Upward, The Cost, Raw Audio Politics, Miranda's World, and Tad Talk, which is quite a ride. So check all of these out. Go to WeAreLibertarians.com and you can check out all of our great podcasts. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Get our other shows at WeAreLibertarians.com.